Hey, welcome to Sports Close-Up on Armstrong Cable. I'm Ed Mayer, my co-host John Matillo. We're here at Riverside Golf Course today where we have 3 of the 4 owners, and from my left,
Zach Hale,
Jeremy Ball,
Darren Foltz,
John Matillo.
Zach, I'll ask you first. What made you guys come in with 4 people and decide to buy Riverside?
It was something we were kind of talking about for a while, looking at different things. Jeremy has experience. He was the general manager of the Riverside Inn. Darren's my brother-in-law, so we got connected that way. And then our 4th partner does other business ventures with Darren. And so we were just kind of exploring the idea of having a restaurant, bar, the event space. And I'm the golfer of the group, so me coming along and helping out with the golf side of it really made this kind of a good fit and a good team.
So what did you do before you decided to come in as partners on Riverside? I mean, what's your background?
So I'm a school teacher at Union City High School. I teach business and math. I also, when I was at Pitt, I went to school at Pitt. I started the Oakland Zoo, which is their basketball student section. So I had some business experience with that as well. And just more playing around with stuff. Like I said, I like golf. I like building things, constructing things. So I feel like I can build a lot, bring a lot to the team that way.
Okay. Jeremy?
Well, I've been in the hospitality industry my entire life. I started when I was 16 at the Riverside Inn as a dishwasher and busboy. And while working there, I figured out that I really enjoyed the industry. So I ended up going to Penn State University. We are. For hotel, restaurant, institutional management. And then I spent some time in State College and then in Philadelphia for 11 years. Then I moved back to the area in 2014. The same summer, the Hallidays took the inn back over, and I got the opportunity to run that for 3 years before the unfortunate fire.
Darren?
I've been early on in the first phase of my life was in the construction world with my dad. So we used to build a lot of the tool shops in the area. My dad built multi-tool. We had part of C&J, Accutech, NewTech, wow. Maloney Tool. So the construction end and being a general contractor was in my wheelhouse. And for the last 12 years, I've been in Kansas City. We do fun foods concessions for the Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs. So I've been able to have my hands in both worlds of really what would be a foundational to take on something like this, food industry wise, high volume, fast paced, and then construction wise being general contractors overseeing sites and start to finish projects.
Now, who's the other owner?
Jamie Lorkey is our other partner. Him and his wife own Green Prosthetics.
Okay.
Their main office is up on Peninsula Drive. They've got 3 other offices. Jamestown, New York, Meadville, and I think Johnstown might be the 4th one. Jamie and I have been partners. We have some properties up at Edinboro, up at the college, around the college area. So him and I have been doing stuff for the last 7 to 8 years. So this idea, I guess, kind of started with me a little bit. It was kind of not a joke, but Zach would come down, him and his family would always come to KC for like the last 4 or 5 years during Thanksgiving. And for whatever reason, I've said this a bunch of times, but we'd always talk about the Riverside. I was like, Zach, if Riverside ever comes up for sale, let me know. Like, I don't know how we'd do it, but that would be kind of interesting. So we would talk about it every year.
Well, Riverside was at one time the jewel of Crawford County, maybe Northwest Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep.
I mean, it was a place for weddings, obviously 18-hole golf course. They had District 10 golf here. You had Pro-Ams up here probably. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, hard times set on a whole lot of Crawford County. I mean, Cambridge Springs took it, you guys we lost the Alliance College. Unfortunately, Riverside burned down. And to see you guys come into the community and build it back up. And this place, God bless the former owners, they tried. But what you've done here, wow, is all I can say. You gave us a little tour. Impressive. How long did it take you to get this back up and running?
Oh, goodness. We're still working on it, but it's been about 3.5 months we've been in the building and went full speed to make it happen.
So you've done new roofing, new siding.
We have, yeah, completely redid the entire roof except for the flat roofs. They were already done. New HVAC throughout the entire building. The entire building exterior has been painted, soffit, new gutters. The parking lot has now been, the entryway has been gutted and re-blacktop. All new signage for the entryways. The pro shop, which is now a hybrid space in here, which is now, we take care of the golf side and tees and balls and all that stuff, but it also has now 10 menu items for full service bar. And then the Rambler now, which used to be the original restaurant, is a fully revamped, new lighting, new flooring, new paint.
Yeah, wow.
Looks
that's all I can
beautiful.
say.
Thank you.
Who's your golf pro?
We don't have a pro.
You don't have a pro?
Yeah, Jack Hobson is, he does lessons and stuff, but he'll do lessons. He kind of floats around. He's a Cambridge guy.
Okay.
And if people want lessons here, Jack has got his card out front here. Give him a call and he'll come down and give lessons.
Did you have to do a lot of work on the course? Is that the process?
So we have a superintendent, Mike Bockert. He was at Elk Valley for a while. He was at Venango for a couple years. And then last year, Linda Christensen, the previous owner, hired him. And what he's been able to do here is remarkable. He's got turf grass management from Penn State also. You know, Golf Course Superintendents Association. He knows got all the certifications. He knows when to spray, when to cut, how to manage his staff, you know, what to do out there. He's got a really good mind for it. And so if you talk to people in the community from last spring to last fall, just how much the course has improved, and then what we were able to do, you know, he came to us with a list of items for fertilizers and chemicals and different things like that that he needed, and just what he's been able to do really in about 14 or 15 months is remarkable. So people haven't been out to the course to play in the last couple years. I think that if they come out and play, they'll be pleasantly surprised. We got 40 new carts. We have 8 fin cycles, which are motorcycles. You put the golf bag on there, you buzz around the court on the motorcycles, and they're a blast. So, you know, we're really trying to merge the existing customers with and try to bring in some new blood, some younger people who want to come out and take up the game and kind of have that next generation of members.
So you probably have people from a wide area come down here to golf or come up here to golf?
So in years
See that?
past, we've had people come from Canada. They've come from, you know, different states all over. That's kind of slowly deteriorated over the last couple years. Of course, COVID prevented a lot of those travelers from coming in. But we've, you know, we do pull a lot of people from Erie, a lot of people from the Meadville area coming up and playing. There's people from Pittsburgh, around French Creek. There's a lot of little cottages and summer camps and stuff like that. So people will come up there and then they'll play here, Venango or Culbertsons or different things like that. So yeah, we do pull that. But I think that there's some nicer courses in Erie, but people come down and play us. I think that we're going to be right on par with a lot of what they've got going on up there.
Now, aren't you guys really the only ones in the area that have the motorcycles?
Yeah.
So far,
There's only
I don't
three-
even think Erie has them. do
There's
they?
3 other courses in the state of Pennsylvania that have fin cycles.
Okay.
So we're in a very small group. Ohio, I think there's 7 to 10 courses that actually have them and have had them for a little bit. So on the entire eastern side of Pennsylvania, we're the only course. No one in Pittsburgh, nobody else.
Makes it kind of nice because you get 4 people out there, they can just go to their ball and it speeds up play a little bit too.
And that's the whole principle of it is, yeah, you're doing something cool, right? Like we all ride motorcycles, or Jamie and I ride motorcycles, so that was kind of a no-brainer. Jamie kind of sent us all this video, and we were like, what? That is awesome! So we were like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to figure it out. So bringing those on board, man, it was just kind of one of those things like, yeah, like, what can you do for golf that's kind of new, fresh, and fun? Well, what's cool about them is, you know, they're all electric. They do about 13 miles an hour. You know, you can't do a burnout on them or anything like that, so it's not a destructive thing for the course. Ground pressure wise, they have the equivalency or less of what a golf cart does to the course. So as far as like having them out on the course, like, yeah, they don't do anything worse than what a golf cart does. And yeah,
Is there any age limits on who can ride them?
right now we're trying to be like 16 and above. We haven't really tested that. No one's really come up to be like, hey, I've got a 12-year-old or something.
Gotcha.
But the thing about them, and I'd love for you guys to ride them when we're done, we can pull them out, but they're super simple. like they're as light as a bicycle, and the power when you take off isn't overwhelming, so it's very smooth. And I mean, we had a lot of the we have my daughters who are 15 have been up here this week, so they've been riding them. Yeah, we're just trying to get everybody and their brother to like take them out, see how it feels. Like they're fun and they're super comfortable.
It was interesting. I was talking to you guys earlier. Is your different backgrounds, how you guys all came together to put this together. It's really impressive. I mean, you have background as a school teacher, construction, and the hospitality business. It's impressive.
I liken it to a rock and roll band.
Okay.
Honestly, like if you look at a really good band, you have a unique character on each instrument, right?
Gotcha.
Right.
There's always a crazy drummer, somebody who keeps the pace.
Who's the crazy drummer in this group?
I would say probably Jamie.
He's not here.
Yeah, he's not here. Yeah, you know, the bass player, he keeps the tempo and keeps the rhythm going, which I would say that's probably Jeremy in that aspect of it. And, you know, somebody that can just step in and fly something off with electric guitar would probably...
Who's the lead singer? You.
I'd probably lead sing it.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
What did you guys keep the same grounds crew, or did you add, you know, people? Like who's in charge of the maintenance outside?
Well, and that was, you know, we started this process. I called Linda last April. So, I mean, this process has been going on a long time. So we were able to have conversations early on with Mike Bocher, you know, about, you know, was he interested in being on board, you know, if she did sell, whether it was us or anybody else. And, you know, and then to say to him, you know, like, you've been here a year, like, all the guys that are here, what do you think? You know, would you want to keep them, or do you have to hire new people? So we really kind of laid that back to him and said, you know what, you've been here, how's the relationships going? Are they good? And what's interesting is the majority of the guys who are out there mowing in that, they've been working here for, some of them 15 to 20 years.
Yep.
So, like, there's a depth on the course of people who care, like, legitimately care about the course. And, you know, that's what Mike said. He's like, there's not one person I would want to change out here. So we're like, okay.
They all stayed on and added a couple more younger people, and they're really doing an amazing job out
At
there.
least you know you're going to get 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think for the most part, having conversations, they're excited about what we're doing inside, and they see the effort that we're putting into this whole process. And, you know, a lot of these guys are Cambridge guys, and they played the course growing up, and they knew what it was. And I think that, you know, everybody's excited about what the possibilities are for the future. So
Look at how blessed we are. I mean, Venango Valley, now you have this place within, what, 5 miles of each
Right.
other?
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, you could get a golf package and throw Country Meadows in there,
Right.
maybe put something together. You guys have any ideas on that? Maybe we were talking earlier, bed and breakfast, or what'd you say, RB and whatever they're
Yeah,
called.
some Airbnbs. Well,
Airbnbs.
you know, like, I've known Kim and Durbin a long time, and I mean, their business model, I mean, they did it right from
Yeah.
the beginning, you know. And the interesting thing was, right, is like we've had these conversations, right. There was this point, like back in the day, where Venango was here and Riverside was there, right?
Right.
And then over the last two ownerships, you know, it's kind of leveled
Right.
off and then kind of went the other way. So yeah, adding that value of, you know, 106 years
Yep.
Riverside's been here.
Right.
You know, the foundation's phenomenal. But on the staying part, right, that's something that's in our trajectory, hopefully, you know, over the next 3 to 5 years, is we want to have that piece. And I know Cambridge does too.
Yes.
Zach can talk a little bit more there. You know, there's a committee that's been formulated over the last 6 to 8 months, and they know that stuff, right? And they're sensitive to it, right? So if there's that piece that's added, I think, yeah, you can really do some great stuff.
Now, what about the weddings? I see that the ballroom's like completely done. John, we were back
Yeah,
there.
it's
It looks
impressive.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Have you guys had any weddings yet this year?
Yeah, we had our first wedding last Saturday. We have our next wedding this Friday. And after the pictures went out last weekend, I've probably gotten 3 or 4 more requests for tours of the facility. And we're booking out all the way through the end of 2021. And actually 2022, the month of January, every Saturday is booked already.
What's your occupancy?
About 240 in there.
40. Yeah, that's good. That's a good
And there's an
number.
outdoor pavilion for nicer weather where you could have the ceremony outside and then move in for the reception into the Kelly Ballroom.
Impressive.
So,
Yeah, we actually, the couple that got married, where they were married in there
Okay.
last Saturday, so, and we officiated it, so that was pretty cool.
Yep.
very nice. So, I mean, that's good on that aspect because, I mean, we've seen it before how everything was, you know, the ceiling wasn't too good and just the amount of work you guys put into it made it look nice. And now you guys, like you said, you're stretched out until 2021.
Yeah, people
that's-
are really interested, and the county in general needs places for large events. After the Riverside Inn, you know, burned down,
Yes.
the larger venues are
Few
lacking.
and far between.
So it's an important thing for the community, from, you know, baby showers, bridal showers, retirements, class reunions. They're all calling now.
Well, what's nice is you can sit out there and you can still see the golf course.
You sure
know,
can.
and it's nice. I mean, you know, especially if you're getting married and somebody's a golfer, and you know, you're getting,
Yeah.
you know, and you get them pictures.
For the summertime or even in the wintertime, I
yeah.
imagine it's going to be beautiful out there.
Oh, I was out here a couple years ago in the wintertime, and it actually looked really nice with
Yeah.
the snow, even though I don't like snow. But
Yeah.
Well, you'll get Christmas parties and that.
Yep.
Yes.
You plan on being open all year round in here?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually, there's a thing down in Kansas City that we go to every year. It's called the Magic Tree. And it's a huge tradition down in KC, and it's something that we're going to try and bring up here, which will be, we'll have one of the trees right outside the restaurant space. We're hoping to do a magic tree, so it'll be completely illuminated.
Wow.
And then you'll be able to come here during the holiday season, and you'll be able to walk out the side of the course out there and get your picture taken. and do
Well,
stuff
you
like that.
mentioned rich history, 106 years, you know, being around this community my whole life. I mean, this place was the place to go throughout when I was growing up. And we had the Riverside over there, unfortunately. Cambridge Springs was, as we talked earlier, a booming town. And to see you guys bringing that back, I bet you the community takes a lot of pride in seeing what you guys are doing. The people,
Support from the community has just been unbelievable.
I bet.
People are so encouraging, and they reach out, and the support, like the opening weekend of the Rambler when it was still softly opening, there were people here Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night.
How'd you come up with the name Rambler?
Oh gosh, that was
That was
big
Zach.
collaboration.
Yeah, that was Zach's.
You're not going Cathedral Prep.
No, so no.
We've heard that one, but no.
We need to get a write-up. So, guy I work with, he teaches with me. He's a history teacher. He grew up in Cambridge, and he does. He writes for the Erie Reader. He's got his own page, Rust and Dirt, and so he does a lot of local history. He lives in Erie now, so Cambridge, Crawford County, Erie, and he writes interesting articles. And he wrote an article a couple years ago about this guy, Leon Livingston, who was a hobo. He grew up in California. He ran away from home when he was like 14 or 15, and he spent his life traveling on trains and all over the country. He actually spent a summer with Jack London, the author, and Jack London wrote books about his experience on the rails. And but this Leon Livingston, he had like a handle. His nicknames were either A Number One or the Rambler. And he wrote a bunch of books about his hobo lifestyle. He's credited with developing a hobo code, which was basically like a language, like a hieroglyphics that hobos knew where they could get a handout and where not to stay and different things like that. And he would write about Cambridge Springs in his books because this is when he got tired of riding the rails. He was here when everything was happening. And he would stay in a boarding house, and he called this kind of his hometown, and the mecca of hobos, that kind of thing. So we named the restaurant after him. We got some train scenes in the back, that kind of thing, as a tribute. And he ended up kind of leaving that lifestyle. He met a girl from Erie. He got married, had some kids. He's buried up there in the cemetery. But yeah, so we wanted to tie in some of the Cambridge history and put a little bit different spin on it. So that's where the Rambler came
500
from.
miles to New York or 500 miles to Chicago?
Correct.
That's right.
Halfway point.
Yeah, the halfway point when the springs were, the healing waters of the
Yeah,
world.
one president came, I don't know which one it was.
Taft came.
Taft.
Yep.
you had a lot of pro golfers here too back in the day, haven't you? Do you remember who?
Well, Ken Ventura used to
Yes.
write, or he used to have a tournament here.
Yes, he
For
did.
years he did. He'd come up and have his own little tournament, and
Yeah.
that was always neat because you talk to some of the old timers who, grew up and they were caddies, back here, and they would always talk about, hey, I got the caddy for him, or, it was always a big deal to have that.
Because Summers owned this at one time, correct?
Right,
Yes.
Lynn Summers, right?
Lynn Summers from Lions,
Right.
correct? That's back in the, my best friend was a chef out here back in the day. That
Okay.
was in the 80s,
Mhm.
mid 80s. This place was rocking and rolling. too.
Well, Lynn I think was responsible for the new facility. The old clubhouse burned in
Yes.
the mid 80s, and Lynn was he was responsible for building this
Right.
building, and they built it well. You know, everything from the layout of the building, all the space, having the auxiliary kitchen in the back, the way the bathrooms are set. I mean, everything they did right. They did with purpose. The problem was it just after they built it, there was no updates. So for 30 years, the carpet wasn't changed, the wallpaper was the same, and it just needed the facelift.
In our community at large, talking about Crawford County, we saw population decrease.
Right.
There wasn't many people around. And,
Yep.
you know, we became a little known as the Rust Belt, unfortunately. But I see things coming back. On the golf side, golf leagues.
So we run golf leagues Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right now, and we're open to more leagues. Those are the existing leagues that we had carried over. We have so they call it the Spa League, a men's league, which is a bunch of Cambridge guys. There's a Thursday league, which is kind of a hybrid of Cambridge, Edinburgh guys. And we've got a couple smaller leagues, just groups of guys, 20, 30 guys that just wanted to get together. We've got ladies leagues on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And we're exploring different ways to get people here. We're talking about doing maybe a family night on a night of the week that we're slow, and having the tee time spread out, bring your kids out, beginning golfers, you want to come with the girls at work and blow off some steam and try to learn the game or whatever, and trying to figure out ways that we can incorporate those opportunities for people to take up the game as well.
What's 18 in a cart cost?
So during the week it's 25, and during the weekend it's $30.
Very reasonable. Very reasonable.
And then what's it with the motorcycle?
So the fin cycles, so it's 18 for the greens fees on the weekend and 12 for the cart. Instead of the 12 for the cart, the fins are $20. So it's an extra $8 to run the fins.
You got to get on one of those fins. I have a flip phone. I'm not advanced.
You don't even text.
I don't even text. So,
I like how you did when you come into the
boy.
it's the
That's
bar
impressive.
now, and instead
The
of
turn.
The turn.
the turn, where you can actually sit down, and it's a little bar, but then you also have the restaurant side. Whose idea was to do it that way?
Well, we were always kind of talking about this space, the restaurant space, because the bar was always here, and there were glass panels between the upper and the lower levels and doors. And the idea was, I think, that people could come down and dine and have a nice meal, and then the golfers could still come in after their Thursday night or Wednesday night leagues and sit up at the bar. But we always felt that they were intruding on each other.
Right.
And it wasn't anybody's fault, but they didn't have their own spaces. So somebody wanted to come in and sit down with it for a nice dinner. They always felt maybe they were intruding on the league night or vice versa. And so, you know, we had talked about, let's create that separate space out there. And
Inconvenience.
in the convenience part of it.
The beer's convenient. People are
Yeah.
buying 6-packs like crazy now.
Right.
There's a slushy machine. We have alcoholic slushies. Changing up the draft beer options in the turn. Rather than just have one beer, we have 4 beers that are rotating out there.
do you get any beer from across the road?
No, we have some other major breweries that
Okay.
we're sort of circulating in
Okay.
here. This is all based on demand and
Gotcha.
unique things. So it's never going to stay the same beer for a long time, and we'll just keep rotating.
I think understanding that and being sensitive to the fact of like people really do want convenience, and speed is a thing for real. And the way this place was set up before, it was anything but any of that. So our philosophy was like, give them what they want, right? I want to come in, I want to pay for my golf, I want to grab a 6-pack, I want to go.
Right.
I don't want to wait.
Right.
So it really was a case of like, and you know, the whole pro shop idea to us was like, that's not a thing here. You know, if we were a 10-month out of the year
Right.
golf situation, that would liken to us to have that type of facility. That's not this business model here
Right.
anymore. We don't feel that way.
Right. People don't go. I mean, you can go online and buy
Yeah.
clubs and
Right.
buy shirts and do
Like
different things
Finagle
like
doesn't
that.
have it.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's
no.
just we felt like this was a more efficient use of our
Yes.
space to do it this way, and it's actually we've gotten great feedback from everybody.
Well, you know, I was just thinking, like Jovi's closed. That was a nice place to take your wife,
Right.
and my wife and myself like going there when it's closed. The ambiance was nice. If you had people coming in from the bar, I mean, from golf coming through, now this would be a nice place to come with your wife or your family and have a nice dinner. Obviously,
Right.
it's
It's nice that after work you can go out there if you want to and not come in here and intrude on people that
Right.
are actually
Exactly.
eating. So
Well, with the golf leagues, they get done playing and they come in after every night and order beers and food and
Yes.
they hang out here before they would play their round and
Right.
then leave.
Right.
So now they're actually staying here on site and they're visiting us 3-4 times a week, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we have another couple that's out there 3 or 4 nights a week and they booked a party of 12 for this weekend in the Rambler. So there's a little bit of something for everyone here.
And obviously you have good food.
Absolutely, good food, good drinks.
Any specialty that your food?
Right now, our New York strip and ribeye steaks are flying off the shelves. Every night we're selling through tons of them. So as we develop and grow and get through our soft training or soft opening, we'll have prime rib on Saturday nights. We'll have a fish fry on Friday evenings. Specials that are only limited amounts of, daily. We're just sort of easing our way in. We've been really fortunate to find people that want to work, our kitchen.
That's
we could
wonderful.
use a couple more people, but we're going to make it work. And we have a young staff overall, but we're so fortunate that they're taking it very seriously.
You have the high school, you have kids coming back from college, and
Yep.
there's people who live around here. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're busy, you're going to make good tips.
Right.
Exactly.
And
And
it-
it's funny, people are just like showing up like, are you hiring? Da, 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 da. Like they're like these blessings off the street.
And a testament to Jeremy, who, he's been in this industry, he's been around here for a few years. We've been fortunate that people want to come work for us because of him. And so there's been people that either worked at the inn or worked at other places. We haven't had the staff shortages that a lot of other businesses are struggling with as much, and I think a lot of that is because they want to come and work for him.
And Jeremy's here all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the first conversations like Jeremy and I had when this all got started, we literally talked about employees and talked about people and talked about how they get treated and how, in his situation where he's operated and me in Kansas City, like I've been blessed, like I've got people that have been working for me for over a decade. So clearly we're doing something right. And it always comes back to relationships. Like I said all the time, like we're in the people business, we're not in the golf business.
Right.
So it's hospitality, 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 but you gotta wanna be that person. Like, and that's a unique gift
Yeah.
to care enough to be like, I've got 5 minutes, we're having a conversation, right?
Yes.
Because I'm interested,
Right.
not because I feel like I have to.
Right.
So that was our early conversations were staff, how the staff gets treated, what's that look like, and
And in turn, they treat the customers well. They're going to come back
100%,
time and
yeah.
time again. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, we have a handful of people that are here with us that worked at the Riverside Inn with me, right at the very end, and also worked at the Riverside Inn when I was a 16-year-old.
Wow.
That, we have a woman that works our host area that was the front office manager at the inn and group sales coordinator. People that, there's that energy of the inn that still exists within the people that were a part of that,
It probably exists in the community too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I told these guys early on, I said, there is that thing of like, the establishment is the establishment, and luckily this one with the history of it, it's got tremendous depth with people's memories and all that. I said, but it also is important, the ownership is just as important. And if you're accessible and you're that type of owner that does care and isn't afraid to be out there talking to people, like that speaks volumes.
Right.
Speaks volumes. And the interesting thing was, it was funny, it was like the third day we were here, and when we came in with a plan, and it was awesome. But we demoed like crazy. But these two older gentlemen walked in, and they said, hey, we've known Linda a long time. We heard the new owners were taking over, and they're from Pittsburgh, and they had they have a cottage up north of Waterford. He said, we just wanted to come in and meet the owners. I said, oh, you just wanted to come in and see if the owners were nice guys? Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, actually. I said, well, come here, let me take you through a tour. So we had everything really demoed. He said, man, I don't know. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, when you guys get back up here, just come back in and see me. So it was pretty cool. Last month, he come walking in and was just absolutely floored.
Kind of like myself and Ed when we walked in today. I haven't been since you guys took over. I haven't been in here. I've worked in Cambridge Springs for 15 years. Now I can just be a place to come and bring customers and people.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh.
yeah, it was a couple of years that I've been here and just walking in, I was just like, wow. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
did this in how many months?
Yeah.
We literally,
Yeah, how'd wow, I mean, how many months?
we started February 18th and we opened the Rambler doors June 18th.
So you guys haven't even really had your grand opening yet.
No.
When will that be?
Probably in August at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to do, and you know, we back Jeremy's play 100%. And that's the one thing about all of us. Like, we trust each other's skill sets and mind of what we see, right? And our philosophy was like, you know what? We want to open the doors and people come in and have the best experience, dining experience, right? And bar experience as possible. So for us, it was like, it's not worried about, yeah, you want to make money and all that type of stuff, but it's like, we would rather have our horse before the cart in that aspect, so that when we say we're full tilt, that everybody
And then the
comes
word
in.
of mouth will,
Right.
Absolutely.
boom, off you go.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't realize what was here. I just didn't.
Right. And it's happened on the golf side already. I mean, our tee sheet is booked
Booked.
during the week, and we've been really excited about all that stuff. And, you know, you hear conversations, pick up bits and pieces. My buddy and I, we golf at Lawrence Park, or we golf here, and my buddy said, you got to come down and check it out. And so, you know, the word of mouth is just gonna, it's just gonna.
And
I've heard it
explode.
already. Also, a lot of people come out here.
That's
They don't
that's
golf.
the most humbling part of all this, and I've said it a bunch of times. It's like we literally, like, not even exaggerating, we had people stop during construction, come in the door, and say thank you. Like, I could literally dozen conversations of older men and younger men and women who have said, like, I've been coming here for 40 years. Or I played here 20 years ago with my grandfather, or it's that connection from the past to now, and the excitement that everything we've done here together is just.
Right, they didn't want to see something else fall.
Right.
Right.
Like the Riverside Inn.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Yes.
Cambridge Springs pride.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
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 We did a girls softball team last week, and you could see coming from them. I've worked here in Cambridge Springs for 15 years, and you can see it. Small town, you know, people get behind it.
And
Proud to have it.
there's a
Yes.
lot of different things. I mean, the bridge is hopefully going to be open in a couple weeks, and that
July
that-
8th, they
that
said.
bottlenecks everything.
crossed.
there.
July
Fingers
8th, right?
crossed. We've been hearing this for a couple of years.
Then they'll take out the other one.
Yeah.
the other one will go down,
But
yeah.
there's different. There's a lot of buzz in the community about revitalization and you know, community art, and having things, you know, different events to do in the summertime, kayak rentals, and doing canoes, and all kinds of different things here. So, you know, it's kind of fun to be a part of that whole the bigger thing.
You know what it always reminds me of? Always reminds me of Radiator Springs on the movie Cars, right?
Okay.
So,
Yep.
like, what was the first thing that happened? Well, they repaved the road, right? Made a nice brand new road, right? And it gave everybody like that little bit of like, oh,
Right.
right? So then what happened? Well, then Luigi and his buddy are over painting their doors, and they're cleaning their signs, and then somebody else is doing something else.
Correct.
And it is that case of like,
Yeah.
we've talked about, like, if we could be the big brothers to anybody else, like, that's our whole philosophy too. Like, we know so many people that, and we've already put ourselves in the community and aspects of like, hey, we're here to help too.
Yeah, because, you know, we redid our building over at Bush Insurance,
Yeah.
and the used to be the Crossbow. What's the name of the place now?
Woody's
Mr. Woody's
Barbecue.
Barbecue,
Woody's.
we did that. The
Yeah.
Holidays renovated their apartment
Yeah.
building outside.
Right.
It's like that, you know, the broken window philosophy that's been happening. People
Yeah.
are fixing their windows,
Yeah.
painting up the shop, mowing their yards.
I mean, little things. Lickety Split's got a brand new sign
Yeah.
in front of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just little things. It's
Yeah.
nice to see. You know, whole darn hoagies, hole-in-one hoagies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
So how long have you, Jeremy, and Jamie been friends? You guys grew up together? All?
Oh,
Because I know this is your brother-in-law.
Yes, that's the interesting thing. Like, Jeremy and I both graduated from Cambridge in 1992 together. So, I mean, I've known Jeremy a long, long time,
Yep.
but we weren't like depth friends, but
Yep.
we've totally been friendly all them years or whatever. And then Zach and I, obviously, I mean, I've known him for over 20 years now.
And I'm stuck with them.
Yeah, stuck. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
They married sisters, correct?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they local girls?
Yep.
Yeah, they're both Cambridge girls too.
What was their maiden name?
Patrick.
Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, Staborski, Zilhaver is their.
Oh, you're related to everybody then.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are.
They are. Our kids are.
Yeah, so I said, you gotta be careful when you're going around
We're
Cambridge.
probably related to each other now too.
Yeah,
so-
Ball's a big family out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeremy's uncle.
Well, it was my cousin, Dick Ball, was the superintendent out here for years,
Yep.
back during the heyday. So it's sort of cool to, be a part of it on this end now that, I just remember being a kid, this place was packed. I worked at the inn, and there was a group of us over there, and then there was another group of kids that worked over here, and you worked at one of the two places.
Right.
And, we've had people come back to visit, a kid we went to high school with, and he's like, holy crap, check this out. And it's really cool. Like, it's a great town, and, when I moved back from the city, I didn't know how it was going to be moving back to a small town America, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah, I know.
I'm close to everything I need to be close to. I don't really do too much other than work and sleep. But if you want to go do something, you can, and there's so much right in everyone's backyard.
It's
And
like-
people need to realize that. Like, one of the things when I'm talking to people when they came in, like, when was the last time you were here? Oh, 20 years ago. And we're like, over and over and over, it's like, we're right here. And people now know, it's back again.
Right.
So
The more
I'm
golfers
really
you
excited.
bring in helps the community out there. 'Cause
Absolutely.
They're
They're going to buy gas here. They're going to go to the little stores.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're killing two birds.
They might buy a beer down the street. Who knows?
Well, I
Right.
think that
But everyone helps out everyone.
I think that's and I'm not throwing darts. I might be throwing darts a little bit, but there is that piece of like the state of Pennsylvania and what they're doing to encourage investors to come here and do something. It's very hard to build something new here right now with the way the structure is
Yeah.
and what they end up doing on a tax back end of it. Like, it's very difficult.
They're whacking you, aren't they?
It's awful.
Yeah.
And I'll say that right now, like, if
It's
you
not
guys
a
want,
Commonwealth right there.
if you guys want to do, if they want to do something different, wake up.
Because you do business in Missouri, it's a lot easier.
Absolutely. They encourage investment. They encourage guys to come in. You know what? I'm going to come in and spend $750,000 or $1.2 million and build a motel here. I'm not going to do that here.
Right.
You
You're
can't.
going to get taxed like crazy.
Right.
They're crushing people. So even in our situation of this was an investment. Like, this is an important investment for me, in the sense of like all of us. Like, I don't want to see something that's 106 years old go away. And walking in and seeing, like, on a construction level, like, this place has got phenomenal bones. That golf course has phenomenal bones. It just needs some love.
Right.
So, but what frustrates me, and even our early conversations, like, why hasn't somebody else done something?
Mhm.
Like, there's people around here that have money. Like, invest it. Like, people are still here.
Well, look, Jovi's is still empty. It's been over a
Right.
year. I mean, I understand COVID, all that stuff.
But you know what? Sandalini's, like, before Chovi's, right?
Yeah.
Sandalini's was
Oh, absolutely. It's a staple.
And you know what? I'll liken that back to, like, I remember Ray Travellini and Sandy Petruso, and they were friends. My dad knew them very well, but it was one of those things like, yeah, you went to Sandalini's, but you know what? You saw one of them
Absolutely.
there, right?
Yep.
You saw Sandy Petruso
Yeah,
there.
and their picture was on the wall.
That's exactly right. That's
Right.
exactly right. And that's your association. Yes, I have a good meal and all that, but, like, I love the owners.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Now, your mother help you?
She's been out. She did some phenomenal wallpaper work. I mean, really, I'm blown away by how good of a wallpaper she is.
She's a great saddle lady, too.
Yeah, she's working here in the kitchen a little bit. My wife's out here helping out in the kitchen. But just my mom and dad, I mean, really all our families have been whatever we need help with. We've had a lot of volunteer help, whether it's just carrying demo stuff out, handing up ceiling tiles, doing some different things like that. We've had a tremendous support system from our close family and friends there. So
Because Darren, you're not here all the time, right?
I have been for
You
the
have
last
been
4 months.
last 4 months,
Yeah, I've
okay.
been commuting back and forth
Okay.
during the whole construction process.
Okay.
I think that's what's interesting about doing this type of project and having it done in 4 months. It's unheard of.
Yeah, that's,
Unheard of.
yeah. It's like Ed was talking about grand opening and people when they find out people find out about this place, look out more. I mean, it's picking up right now, but when they find out,
Yeah, we had
Sky's the limit.
we had a good plan. We had a lot of Zoom calls.
yeah.
Ton of them.
We had a lot of calls, and we just had a great plan, and everybody executed like I've never seen done. It was awesome.
and you made a good analogy, the band, you know, the lead singer, the bass, the drummer.
We still haven't heard his vocals yet.
They're not bad.
They're on YouTube.
Check it out on Spotify.
Do you guys have a lot of golf outings set for this year?
Yeah, I don't know. We probably have maybe 8.
Yeah.
is where
I'd say
I think
about
we-
8.
8.
It's going to double, if not triple,
Yeah.
next year.
You know, we were sort of in the game a little late last year because we didn't take ownership till March.
Right.
But, you know, going into the fall and the winter, I think we'll have a little more time to lead up and prepare for that kind of stuff for next year to make it even stronger.
And that's been the thing too, is just because so much has happened in the last 4 months. I mean, the golf course was open because the weather was nice, and we had a computer set up in the closet because we were still remodeling the turn. And so everything's been happening so fast. Our staff has had, you know, there's been a learning curve there. There's been some struggles with just things being a little different. With the outings and all those, we really haven't had a chance to sit down and really make them kind of special. Put together packets,
You
information
haven't marketed
packets,
it
and
yet like
marketing
you
it.
want to.
And part of us is
That's
okay
coming.
with that because
Right.
we want to make sure when people are coming here and bringing groups of people here, they've got the best possible experience as well. There's just so much going on that we'll eventually get to that. And if we get through the summer and we only have 8 outings, or hopefully next year we'll be able to make some calls in the off season and put together information packets and help work with groups on how they can make their outing a better fundraiser for their groups, that
Did
kind of thing.
you join the Chamber of Commerce by chance? Meadville Chamber of Commerce? They
We're
have
going to
golf
be.
outings,
We're
and
going
things
to
like
be.
that. They
Yep.
would help you guys.
Yeah, there's a ladies outing out here in August, I believe, and I've been in touch with them to
Okay.
have a business after hours here in August.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There's a lot of moving pieces,
Well,
but
when
it's been a
people
conversation.
come in here, Ed, and you can vouch for that, they're going to be really impressed.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I mean it's like you guys are, you know, I mean right now you guys are going to be the staple of Cambridge Springs. I mean hopefully, you know, everybody gets on board and starts investing more, even in Crawford County alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, taxes are so high, people aren't wanting to either stay, they're moving.
Yeah.
You know,
There was an unfortunate case where a building was lost in Cambridge Springs, you know, a couple of years ago.
yeah,
And-
just right in town, wasn't
right
it?
in town, and you know it was insured, and you
Nothing's,
know
all it is
they
is
can't
a-
do anything
no.
because the amount of taxes they
Right.
pay would, you know,
And it's on
cancel
Main
out
Street.
anything.
Right,
On
and
Main
they, and they
Street.
wanted to.
Yeah.
The people who owned it
Right.
wanted to rebuild, they wanted to do this, and they got to the point where it just wasn't worth it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it was sad.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like who's your maintenance guy? I mean your groundskeeper. Who's the guy in charge?
Mike Buckert.
Mike Barr. I mean, he looks like he's doing a tremendous job because
Absolutely.
I've gotten a lot of people I've seen on Facebook. You know, the course is so much better. How's number 1 holding up for water?
That's what I was going to ask that.
I mean, that's a hard trick to do because I don't think you can ever fix that.
Well, I think what everybody didn't realize is there's an actual beaver problem.
Ah, okay.
When we've come to we've just become very astute on the beaver population that surrounds the Riverside Golf Course.
It's been around for years.
And nobody knew that until just recently?
Well, I don't think anybody was putting 1 + 1 together was the problem. And what was interesting is, you know, all the neighbors across the way, like they have the same problem we do. When the beavers build the dam, it backs up behind their house and then it backs up across hole number 1. You can go through hole number 1 the past 4 months and not have a problem.
Yeah, it's
First-
actually
Nice.
It's actually very dry. Why? Well, we found out that there was a massive beaver dam that's been sitting down here outside on the edge of French Creek forever. Then we also found out there was 3 more on the tributaries
Yeah,
that were backing up 16 and 17. So I mean,
Did you call some trappers to come in?
we're getting ready to have an interesting experience with the beavers. Let me say that.
completely legal beaver experience.
There you go.
Completely
Make sure
legal
it's
beaver.
legal.
Yeah,
They're watching. Look
Yeah,
out.
no, we've had conversations
Commission.
with the game commission
Yeah,
good.
about the situation and all of our neighbors. No, it's been great because the neighbors across the street are super helpful as well. So it's actually been one of the largest issues of why the course has been wet.
Yeah. One of our guys, you know, we had to call PennDOT for, you know, they're underneath Highway 19 out here, and they weren't able to come out initially because it was too dangerous of a situation to be involved in. But one of our guys actually cleaned it out for them.
They literally built a dam underneath 19. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's funny we're just talking about beavers going out. There's no natural predator, right, for a beaver.
Yeah, who's gonna get? Yeah, who's going after the beavers?
So here's
Water.
a funny thing, and a true story. Our one neighbor was over because we were talking about the dams and all that, and he's like showed us this picture. It was a tailgate flipped down on a truck. I swear to God, I thought it was a bear. Jamie, Lorky, and I were standing there looking at it. It was a beaver. This beaver was like this big.
Well, the trappers there. I don't know much about it. The trappers, that beavers are their pelts are worth anything like that?
Not as much anymore.
Not as much as they
I think
used to be.
that's, yeah.
So yeah, the water situation, we've addressed it. It's already started.
good.
We've already seen the benefits of, you know, taking care of some of that issue. And
Yeah, because when you drive down 19 and you look, you just want to get out and
Yeah.
go hit that golf ball. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not much of a golfer, Ed is, but man, you just get that.
What's nice about having Mike around too is he's got that mind for golf. He grew up playing. We don't have a course architect or anybody we got to answer to in terms of that. So, you know, we can be creative with maybe moving tees around or, you know, opening up old sand traps or building new things. And so, you know, on our long-term project, what we'd like to do is have 3, 4, 5 different things every summer. And we can get out there and, you know, work on some different projects. So if people come back every year, hopefully they're going to see those improvements. And I think that, you know, at Venango, what Kim and Durbin were able to do there, that was part of their plan, is every year you came, it was a little better, a little better, a little better. There's always something different, whether it was a flower bed or, you know, they took out a bunch of trees here, they put a trap here, and it makes it more interesting. And we'd like to be in that position
Right,
too,
you
where
see-
we can start making those
You see
changes.
Kim and Durbin, they don't stop.
No,
Kim's
they
always
don't
in the
stop.
restaurant,
Yep.
you know, cooking. Durbin's
They work
always out
hard,
there on the
yes.
course,
Yep, they
you
sure
know,
do.
helping out at some point.
no, absolutely.
So, I mean, luckily, you know, you have these two that are close and you get the summers off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
So,
sometimes.
not anymore.
No, not anymore. But I mean, the course looks fabulous. The sign out front, I love that sign.
Yes.
I was coming up, I was like, wow. Because I don't go this way anymore because of the bridge, so I just, you know, head the other
Yeah.
way.
Plank Road.
Yeah.
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 I don't know the roads out
We,
here.
when we had early discussion, you know, it's like brand recognition, right, is extremely important, which logos are that thing. So it was like, what does that look like? Like, you know, there was all these old R's on everything, you know, all the oak was carved in with an old R. So we wanted to, we were mindful of like how important like that just R was, right? So what does that look like in 2021? So we had some early discussions of what it would be. So it's really kind of the mindset of a superhero symbol. And that vein was kind of what I kind of first verbalized it out to be. And then I have a great graphic design gal that's worked with me in Kansas City for a long time. And we were like, this is what we have in our head. This is kind of what we're thinking. So she did a great job of helping us kind of bring that to
And you
life.
Drew on
brought
his
in,
shirt right there.
yeah, and you brought in the Cambridge Springs colors, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is nice.
It is. I mean, you're keeping, you know, the history alive here. I mean, just, I'm still in Oz. That's all I can say. I mean,
Well, and the interesting was like you think about the inn, right? And we're super sensitive to the inn going away and what that meant,
Oh, absolutely.
To the
That was a terrible
community.
day.
beautiful place.
right?
Terrible.
And, you know, and like we always talk about, you know, when you come in from out of town, what does everybody do? You go to the bar at the inn.
Yeah.
Right?
Like that's what you did. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas, right? And you don't need to know who's in town because you're going to know somebody there.
And that place was special at Christmas, wasn't it?
100%.
Wow.
100%. So that's a, you know, that's in our mindset, right? Like that's the part of like being the hometown guys, you know, that we know a lot of people, you know, they live in Florida, they live in Kansas City, they live in.
This is where you
West
come
Virginia.
hang out when you come home.
That's right. So it was interesting. So the first thing we did was with the Rambler, we actually opened the space to the class of
There
1991's
you go.
reunion, which we're like, man, that'd be fantastic, right?
Right.
Like there's the first vein of like everyone who comes back in town and goes to the inn. Well,
Yeah.
now you come back in town, you come to the Rambler.
Yeah, and you got that new bar up there, but you took the old bar and put it out there.
Yeah.
Which was
Smart.
Yeah.
smart.
Good business sense.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we
Class
could.
of 90s coming on the 24th of July.
Yeah, there.
Oh, you graduated, you graduated 90?
No, 92, but I get a lot of Facebook messages, so if you message me and I don't respond, it's because I get a lot of
Well, it was cool because in the old bar, right, Ray Zillhaver and
Bob Walker.
Bob Ocker were staples here for years, and they would sit at the bar. Well, after they passed, they put plaques.
Understood.
They put plaques on the bar,
Okay.
on the original bar. And being a Zillhaver, my wife, you know, that's her family. So we were like, I mean, that was the one thing we were like, where'd the plaques go when we took the bar apart? And we actually had one of the cousins or one of the daughters reach out to us and be like, if you're not going to do anything with those, please save them. We would like to have them. We're like, no, let's put them back in there.
Yeah.
So we took the old bar top, we cut it down, reshaped it, And then when we assembled it back together, we put those two guys on their corner. So that was the corner of the bar, even though it's in a different location. That was the corner that they sat in. Their plaques are back up there, and people really appreciated that.
So if anybody wants to set up, you know, anything in the ballroom, whether it's wedding, baby showers, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can contact us here at the course. Also, we're online at dinetherambler.com. There's a party inquiry there where you can fill that out. There's also a spot to make reservations for the Rambler through Resy, our reservation software. And you can always call the Pro Shop or go to Golf the Riverside. And there's also an online app for booking your tee times as well. We're working on getting an app that we can have a QR code for out on the course so people can shoot the image, order their food right from the course, and we'll have it ready here when they make
So
the
a
turn.
simple guy like me, 814-398.
4692 or 4537.
Okay. What do you
The internet
like?
is the way to
having you
go.
on here, John, because you're just simple.
I mean, that app stuff, forget it. Just want to call 814-398. I got you. There we go.
DineTheRambler.com.
Okay. Okay.
I want to thank Zach, Jeremy, and Darren for sitting down, talking to us, going over the history and, you know, their new ownership of the Riverside Inn. And we'll be right back because I'm going to go out and ride the fin cycle. Hey, I'm here with Zach. He's going to discuss the fin cycle, what they just bought, which is pretty impressive. I kind of like it.
They're a blast. They have, it's easy as riding a bike. It's battery powered. This is the battery here. The clubs, you bring your clubs in, they fit right here between your legs and then they'll snap in. So you pull your clubs out of the front. There is a front brake, rear brake, and then the throttle. And like I said, their kickstand here's a 3-wood head. But super fast, the rounds, you go right to your ball, so it speeds up play, and they're just kind of fun to be on.
Yeah, I'm going to take it for a little cruise and see how it feels. Bet you it's different when you have the weight of the clubs and everything on there.
It rides really smooth. It's not too bad at all. So
And you said it goes, what, 13 miles
about
per hour?
13 miles an hour.
That's
yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot and see
All
what
right.
happens. As you can see, it does get up and go.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes pretty fast and it does speed up play.
Yeah. It's a little different experience, and we've had nothing but positive comments so far.
Yeah, I know when I come out here, I'm going to give it a shot. And I mean, I really appreciate it, Zach, taking your time
Thanks for your
out.
time today. We appreciate it as well.
And we thank you for watching Sports Close Up on Armstrong, your neighborhood channel.